Hello, everyone. How are you doing this Thursday evening? Welcome to Milspouse Conversations, where we have real, raw, real topics and real conversations about pretty much anything you can possibly imagine, want to hear, or anything that you have thought about. We are here to talk about. Yes, 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 we are. So, we're going to kick this evening off with a quick introduction of your conversation starter. So, first up, I'm your host, Sybil Jones. Next, we have the fabulous Julie Provost. Give it
Woo!
up. We also have the lovely Anna Bruner. Hey.
Hey.
And we have Miss Nashida. I'm not going to freeze my butt off today in the cold cruise.
Hey.
Hey.
And last but not certainly least, we have Miss Becca Hyde, who is going to be leading us in our conversation today. All right. So before we get to that, we got to give a shout out to one of our lovely supporters. That is Dad Jones. Dad Jones is a dad and a strong supporter of the military spouse community. And Dad Jones is helping us bring this particular conversation to you today. So, y'all, you ready, Becca?
I'm ready to roll, chick.
All right.
All right, guys. So tonight we are going to talk about intimacy and the military marriage. Let me start off by saying that intimacy is not necessarily just about sex. That's the first thing you think of, and yes, I said the sex word. That is the first thing that everybody thinks of when you hear intimacy. I know even when I hear it, that's the first thing I think of. But really, it goes a lot deeper than that. Specifically, as military spouses, we communicate a little differently with our service members than our civilian counterparts do with our spouses. I know for me personally, I had a very enlightening conversation. I'm not sure if you guys got to watch it or not, but we did an interview last week with Miss Courtney Boyer. She is a relationship specialist and sexual educator, relationship specialist and sexual educator. It's a mouthful. Um, and she talked with me, and let me just tell you, she picked me apart. I told Sybil, I said, I just had all my business put out there on social media. But I did it for you guys because I love you, and I feel like if I'm going through something, you guys are all going through it too. So, with that being said, one of the different things that many of us go through when our service members are deployed, I don't want to call it separation anxiety because that's not necessarily what I consider it to be, but I have a problem with pushing him away. I put walls up, and I don't mean to, but I do it. And after talking with Courtney, and she picked me apart like a salad, um, we discovered that the reason I have trouble staying connected to my husband when he's gone is because of my own problems with vulnerability. Um, Vulnerability can affect the way that you communicate with the people that you love. One of the things that we tend to do as military spouses is when our loved ones are deployed, and I've even done it with friends when I knew we were getting ready to move, when we were getting ready to PCS, I throw those walls up because I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to feel the feelings of missing people. I don't want to miss my husband when he's gone because I don't want to be sad. Who has time for that? I've got kids, I've got dogs, I've got work, I've got hobbies, I've got houses to clean, dinners to cook, butts to wash. I don't have time to be sad and miss people. Um, but I realized the last time my husband was gone, that wasn't fair to him for me to put those walls up because it caused us to have that intimacy disconnect. Um, we felt disconnected from one another, and it really affected our ability to be intimate and to be one of the things about intimacy is you have to feel safe. It's a feeling of belonging and a feeling of safety. You can't have that intimacy if you don't feel safe with that person. And a lot of times that's where our vulnerability comes in. We don't want to be vulnerable because we don't want to take the chance of getting hurt. Even with those that we love the most, to protect ourselves, our conscience says, "Ooh, throw those walls up so you don't get hurt." You don't even realize you're doing it until you've done it. And a lot of times you don't realize you do it, period. So, for my friends, my conversation starter friends, if you guys want to chime in now, and if any of you guys would do this too, I know I can't be the only person that throws those walls up. But what's been your experience with this kind of stuff?
Definitely, like you said, when we go to move, I kind of throw the walls up with the people that I've met that I'm friends with at that current place, and I know I have to leave them, and I know that my relationship with them is going to change, and that's hard for me. So it's really hard for me to even, acknowledge that we're saying goodbye. Um, and then the same thing, like you said, when the spouse is going to deploy, it's that throwing up of the walls, and that whole cycle that you go through before deployment or whatever, where you just kind of start shutting down so that you're not really acknowledging what's going to happen.
And I do that, and this is one of the things I did. Thankfully my husband's retired, so I don't have to do this anymore. I hope, unless he gets the itch to move again. But I know one of the things that I had found myself starting to do, and I'm sure other military spouses can kind of relate, is, the more I moved and the more I had to say see you later to those really close people that I now consider my sisters, I had gotten to a point where I was like, well, I'm only going to be here for a couple years, so I'm not getting close to anybody. I'm not adding anybody to my Facebook. We're not going to birthday parties. We're not getting close like that because I know I'm going to have to leave, or they're going to leave. Somebody's going somewhere. And I had to stop doing that because I realized that I was missing out on so many great relationships that I could be developing, getting to know so many wonderful people. And vulnerability is about having the ability to show up and be seen. You have to open yourself up and be real and be yourself. And sometimes that's hard for us because we worry about what other people are going to think, and are we going to be accepted, you know, because we come from all walks of life. There's a big melting pot within the military spouse community, and we're all so different in, our different beliefs, right down to something as simple as what we like to eat. Everything is so different because we have that melting pot. And a lot of times I think we worry about being judged, and that keeps our walls up too. And it's hard for us to be able to be vulnerable and to open up with people. Um, but especially with my husband, we've been together for 25 years this year, and you guys are supposed to look shocked. You're supposed to say, "Oh my God, you don't look that old. What are y'all doing? Y'all are behind. Y'all need to pay
Get
attention."
married when you were 10?
That's what I'm saying. I love it. I love it. But no, for real, we've been together for 25 years, and I still have problems with vulnerability with him. Um, some of the things that bother me, and I think they're really dumb, but they really get under my skin. I'm like, I don't want to tell him that because I don't want him to think I'm dumb. I don't want him to think, I'm being stupid about this, or I don't want him to look at me and think, what is wrong with you? So even simple things like that with my husband, I still struggle with that. And I think it's worse because of the military dynamic, because he is gone so much. And you guys know as well as I do, you change when they're gone. They change, you change, they come home. Sometimes my husband comes home and he's eating stuff he's never eaten before, and I'm like, "What? Who are you? What? Who are you? Who just walked in my door smelling like JP5? Who is this?"
Or they start listening to music they've never listened to before. I'm like,
Yes,
where were you going?
exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah, I feel the same way.
see, so
'Cause
you've
it's
gone through
like,
that.
well, I think that my biggest problem is like trying to be tough, but I'm not tough around my husband. Like he's probably the only person besides my son who really, sees me kind of have big reactions to things, I guess. And it's like, but sometimes I do feel like you said, like, does he think I'm stupid? what did I just say? Or sometimes I don't know, like when he leaves, I don't really, I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. It's almost like I put it in a compartment.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in a compartment and I'm just kind of like, okay, this is normal. Nothing happened.
Mhm.
And I just kind of move on and, kind of go on about our daily lives. We don't talk about it much. When my son was really little, I just kind of told him, daddy had to work, he'll be back, he's serving the country, we're really proud of daddy and stuff like that. But as my son got older, he's old enough to understand. So we kind of just be like, we talk to him when we talk to him, and it's kind of normal for him to be gone.
Mhm.
And then when he's back, there's that adjustment period where it's just kind of like, because it's just kind of different when your husband's not around. You're kind of just like vibing on your own. It's almost like you're a single parent.
Yep.
And you just make all the decisions. You do everything you want. You go to sleep, wake up, do everything that you want to do.
Don't have to shave your legs if you
if you don't want to.
don't got to worry about coloring your hair. I don't care if people see my gray when he's gone. I don't care. He knows.
Oh, I do. I care.
It's not
Well-
right. It's wisdom. That's wisdom.
Girl, what you said. So
I care.
one of the things, talking about being a solo parent and making those decisions, another thing I forget about with that whole communication piece is I forget he doesn't see what's going on here.
Mm.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'll be at one of our kids' plays or something, and then I'll be talking to him. I'll be like, hey, Stephanie did really good in the play tonight. She was awesome. And he's like, what play are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I didn't know there was a play. Well, then that makes him feel left out, like he's
Mhm.
been completely removed from the equation.
Mhm.
And I don't do it on purpose. Like sometimes I'll be so flustered, I'll just be aggravated at the world. Everything's getting on my nerves because you know how it is when they leave. The tire's gonna go,
Yep.
the wash machine's gonna die, refrigerator's gonna leak, dog's gonna get sick, kids gonna puke. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Everything.
Or you close the garage on the car.
Yep.
Okay, that too. Obviously, that's been done. So but that kind of stuff happens and it gets us flustered. And one of the things I know that I have trouble with is I'll be snappy with him and he's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you acting a fool with me? I'm like, because this has been going on and this has happened and that's happened and this has happened. He's like, how was I supposed to know that? How
Mhm.
was I supposed to know this is what's going on? Now we're irritated with each other over something that I didn't even know was happening because you didn't tell me. And I think that's a lot of the communication issues I know for us
Mhm.
because I don't speak enough. I think a lot. I think a whole lot, but I don't let it come out of my mouth. It's like, or I talk to myself and he doesn't necessarily hear it. But I do.
I talk too much. I think that's why I just be talking and talking and talking. And I'm like, am I the only person talking here? And then I get self-conscious and I'm quiet for a while. But then once the floodgates open, I'm talking. And my husband is just like,
But that's a good
when
thing.
is she going to breathe?
That's a good thing because you're getting that out there. You're letting those walls down. You're letting that vulnerability out. And you're able to talk about things that bother you, which is great because some of us clam up. And I can talk to anybody. Like, I have never thought I had problems communicating because I can talk to a stump. But you know what? I don't care what that stump thinks about me. At the end of the day, I'm not going to bed with that stump. So it don't matter if it looked at me thinking I was stupid all day long. For real, I'm not cuddled up playing footsie, watching House of Cards or whatever it is that's on TV with that stump. So I can tell that tree stump. I can tell Groot whatever I want to tell Groot because he don't care, neither do I. But I have problems with that with my husband because I do care when I'm cuddled up playing footsie with him what he thinks about me at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And that's why, I can communicate with other people because, like I said, at the end of the day, I care what other people think, but I'm not having to look at them when I wake up in the morning with my funky breath and my crazy hair,
Right.
And I think it is just communication is just a big issue for a lot of people. And I'm just one of them that I struggle with communicating with my spouse. And I totally blame it on the military life. I really do. As much as I love the military life and as much as I enjoyed our time in it, I think that the constant separation and the back together and the gone again and the back together, I think it really did affect my ability to communicate, because to me, being vulnerable equaled weakness.
Yes.
That was me being weak. And we are brought up from military littles. When we first come in and we're babies, we are brought up in this lifestyle to never appear weak. You
Mhm.
know, never tell your service member what's going on at home. Don't tell them that the house blew up and the dog died and the cat got ran over. You act like everything is just peaches and rainbows,
Mhm.
and that affects your ability to communicate. I swear it does.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Now I
Like
know.
I think it's such an individual thing,
Yeah.
because I know some service members, they can handle anything you tell them. You could tell them the house, is flooded and the car doesn't work, and they just, okay, thank you for telling me. And other service members are just like, don't tell me that until I get home. Like, don't tell me. And you have to know your spouse, and you have to know what they can handle, and you have to know, and if your spouse can't handle it, you have to find an outlet for that. You can't just keep it in. But if your spouse can handle it, then share away, because you know your spouse and what works between you two.
Well, it took me years to figure out that my husband would rather know when everything is wrong. Because one, it doesn't slap him in the face when he walks in the door off a 9-month deployment.
Right.
And two, he's better equipped to help me emotionally deal with things when he knows what's going on at the house. Then he understands, okay, this is why she's a little snappy with me today. This is why she's kind of short with me. This is why she's being bitchy this morning. It's because she's got X, Y, and Z going on, and I get it. But he can't fix what he doesn't know about. He can't be there for me emotionally if he doesn't know that my walls are caving in around me.
And sometimes I don't need him to do anything. I just need to hear, it's okay. Just do this. Or it's okay, I call this person. It's okay. Like, I just need that reassurance that I'm not blowing it up. Like, sometimes I even ask him, even when he's home, it's like, am I being crazy about this, or is this something that's a problem? Because I value his opinion and I value his point of view. And it might just be a quick text, like for us, like on a drill weekend, like, this just happened, is that a big deal? Oh no, I can handle it when I get back. Or, oh no, that's not a big deal. And it's just, okay, like, it takes away that extra anxiety that I have when he's gone. So.
But as easy, Julie, as that is for you to do that, it was equally hard for me. And like you said, it's an individual thing. It depends on your individual relationship with your spouse. And
Totally. Yeah.
talking
And I
with,
mean, that's just my personality and how we work
oh,
together.
exactly. Oh, no.
And,
absolutely. And
it's
everybody has different ones. There's different people. Like, you have a very open, it sounds like open and very, great communication relationship with your spouse, because you're comfortable doing that. You know what he can handle. He would rather know what's going on as opposed to getting it slapped in the face when he gets home. And my husband's the same way. I just didn't know that. It took me a long time to realize it. And after speaking with Courtney the other day, like I said, I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the interview or not, but it was very eye-opening for me personally. I know Sybil and I talked afterwards, and I was like, oh my God, I'm the problem here.
You had to pull those weeds. You had some weeds you needed to pull.
I had weeds I needed to pull. And it was very humbling to realize that I'm the issue. I'm the one with the walls up. I'm the one that doesn't know how to communicate with him, because he'll talk you to death. He's not got any problems communicating. A little bit too direct some days, I think, but he calls it motivationally speaking. It's not what I call it, but okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's me too. Like, I could be super direct sometimes and I don't even realize it. I'm just like, saying whatever is in my mind, I guess, and it comes off real kind of smug sometimes and nasty sometimes, I think. I think. And then it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm just talking, you know, I'm just saying,
I'm
and then it's like
just a little bit, Nishita, just a little bit.
just a lot.
Just a little bit.
But you know it. So that's a good thing. You can embrace that about yourself. And
I don't always know it though when I'm doing it.
I
You know
can
what I
see
mean?
that.
Like when I'm doing it, I don't know it.
Mhm.
But are you
I'm just
open?
kidding.
Are you open to adjusting that tone when
Oh yeah, yeah. If he's like, what's your problem? You know, it's you know, or if I do something that's out of pocket, you know, I don't mind. I really don't mind when people come to me with their issues about me. Anybody, you know, on a personal level, even if people, you know, I just work with them, we're not very close or have even an intimacy in our friendship. I don't mind because I can't see myself. I'm perceiving myself from inside my body. So I can't know how the person I'm interacting with is seeing me or how I'm treating them. So tell me so I can treat you the way you want to be treated. Because I'm just going to treat you the way I want to be treated, which is I don't really care. Like people get smart, people get sassy, people, you know, they're smug or their attitudes things. That's them. I just feel like, well, I don't know what's going on with them. You know, so I'm going about my business. But really, when I'm interacting with people, I know other people that's not the case. You can really affect somebody with your words or the way you say it or your tone. You know?
Yeah.
Body language too, I think.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you guys when we first got married, because a lot of our communication issues started back early on when we were first married. So when I first married my husband, we were married, he left like immediately, like we went on our honeymoon and 2 days later we were separated. And then I moved to Athens because he was in Athens, Georgia. We were there for 7 months and then we moved to Kings Bay, Georgia. And maybe a week later, he left to go to sub school. So all I knew was being with him. The longest we had lived together was 7 months. So when we moved to Kings Bay and he came back, his rotation was like 3 months in, 4 months out, 3 months in, 4 months out. And I did not know how to communicate with him because dating him, communication when we were dating was different than being married and living with him, right? So we kind of just, everything was passing in the wind. I thought we had great communication skills because I only have to talk to you for 3 months, right? Right? Because then you're gone again. Well, when we moved to DC, we were there for 5 years and he was on shore duty. He came every night. And oh my,
where's that submarine when you need it?
And you know, I was like, what the heck is this? What is going on? And I didn't know how to communicate with him. I didn't know how to tell him what I needed. And what I needed is going to sound crazy, is that I felt that I needed him to leave me alone and not care. Because from day one, everything was on me, right? Now he's home and he's trying to help me. And I was like, dude, I don't need you to help me. Like, stop this. And that was rough. I will tell you, those first few years was really, really rough. Because I didn't know how to communicate. And now 18 years, almost 19 years later, he still tells me I don't know how to communicate.
So I'm not alone.
but it is more of, I hold a lot in. I try to take on the world myself. And he's like, I am here. I need you to open up to me. I need you to tell me what it is that you need so you can be happy. And, and I'm like, I am happy, but I take on a lot of weight on my shoulders. And he's like, just communicate that with me. So when I told him we were talking about intimacy and communication tonight, he's like, oh yeah, that communication piece is good. And of course, his mind for intimacy went to that S word. He's like, you need to talk about that too. But you need to get that together as well. But yeah, a lot of it is for me. I tend to shut it down because it's easier to shut it down. And we're getting ready to PCS, and he's going to be out to see, and he already knows. We've talked about it in a joking way, and he's like, do not shut down on me. Right before I leave, do not. But it is for protection. It is a mindset. I get my mind going that, hey, I have to take care of the home front. It is going to all be on me. But that's kind of how I operate anyway. Like, although he's the cook of the house, we're gonna have to figure that out. That's like totally random, but he's the cook in the house, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that.
You have to get the memberships like HelloFresh or something. Have it delivered when you cook it.
That still involves cooking. I still have to put it in the stove.
Salads, girl. Salads. You cannot go wrong with salads.
That's what I did the last deployment was HelloFresh because my kids didn't want to eat what I ate. So I just ordered, enough portion for me. But anyway, that's not about
Yeah.
But that's really interesting when about the intimacy and connecting it with communication, because that really is true. Because we've been doing this, we're going on 25 years now of, deployments and home. And I think it is important.
Got married at 10.
Yeah, 10 years old.
Oh.
How'd you know?
10 years old. We all got married at 10.
Yeah, we had to get special permission, but it all worked out. It's good.
And again, I'm putting myself out there. God, I hope my husband doesn't ever watch this. But, when we're not connected, when we are not communicating and we don't have that intimate connection, that intimate communication, we don't connect right in the bedroom. It's just like things feel off for me. And I'm like, what the hell? We've been doing this forever. What is going on? It's not like you forget. It's like riding a bike. You don't forget how to do it. But really, it's like we did. It's like, what is going on? We are so off. Shut up, Sybil. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But I mean, it's like, it is seriously like we are not connecting on an emotional level. And I mean, you got sometimes you just need to do what you need to do.
Let's do this. Get it done.
Let's get the business done. We got kids we got to feed. We got this going on. The Amazon guys coming. We need to do this now. We got like a minute and a half. Lord knows, Jesus. However long it needs to be. It's quick. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. But you know what I'm talking about. You've got. She doesn't look at me like I'm crazy. But you
No, I feel like 5 minutes is good, girl. I got back problems, hip problems, slipping out of place. I'll be like, yo. In Harlem Nights, if any of y'all ever seen that movie, and
yes.
Richard Pryor says to the chick, like, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes of hard, you know what? That's all I got. That's how I be feeling sometimes. I be feeling like, look, my hip was out of place the other day. I had a back spasm going on in the middle of the joint. Look,
girl.
Now I need to go to the gym. That's what I need to get this body back in shape.
Why did you say the hip? Okay, like we're going to like totally veer.
The hip, girl. After 40, it's the hip.
Girl.
Yes, the hips.
Look, you be like, yeah, no, we can't do that. Nope.
Got to get some yoga. Do some yoga.
I just be doing it anyways. I don't even care. Then I just be in shambles afterward, like. But I just take a nap. So it doesn't even matter. I'm just gonna go to sleep.
You ain't got no sense.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it is though. It is for us, well, I'm sure for many people, you have to have that for certain situations. You need that connection. And like I said, if we're off, we're just,
Yeah.
it's all off.
So for us, it's we both think and communicate differently, but we have the same end in mind. So especially with deployment, I think ahead of time you kind of have to say whether it's deployment or if they're going to be just stationed overseas for a year or whatever. You say, okay, what do you want me to communicate to you? Do you want to know when the faucet breaks or the car breaks, or do you want me to just take care of it? Like, it's important to actually have that silly conversation ahead of time. Do you want me to have you live on video when our kid is up there doing their recital or something like that? And then with some spouses, I think too, it makes them sad when your kids you're having all these experiences and they're not a part of it, and they're seeing it happen either on social media, or they come back and they see all those pictures from social media and it makes them sad. So it is important to like verbally talk it through, of the expectations and what would help.
And it is good to do that before they leave instead of in the middle or
Yes.
at the end when you're like, well, we should have done this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even before you get into that cycle of, do it a couple of months ahead of time, not right a week before. You need that couple of months before the
Oh,
workups.
absolutely. Because, again, everybody's style's different. But I don't know about you guys. Right before deployment, we'd be fighting like cats and dogs. I'm so ready for him to leave. And it's the buildup, it's the cycles
It
of
is.
deployment.
Yeah.
You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You got those 7 cycles, and that last one,
Mm-hmm.
you think your world's in, and you're like, oh my God, why can't we get along? What is going on? But it's your nerves, and it's that putting up those walls that
Yeah.
we talked about. You start throwing them up before they even leave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a horrible cycle. It really is. And I think everybody goes through it, but it just goes to show that, that whole intimacy and communication connection. I mean, it's impacted even before they leave.
It is. And when you don't talk about it, that is when the walls make it harder. You definitely, you have to push through and have the uncomfortable conversation.
Because like expectations, I mean, if you have the wrong expectations, that's where you can run into trouble too. Because it's like with me and my husband, it's hard because he gets very focused on the job.
Mm-hmm.
And he also knows that like I don't necessarily need him to call me every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But after 3 or 4 days, it's like, okay, okay. And so sometimes he just doesn't realize that that's what I need. And I don't always realize what his point, like I don't always see his point.
Yeah.
The longer that we do this, the more I'm like, okay, he is away for drill for 4 days or whatever it is. He's going to be doing that. If he can call, he can call. If he can't, he can't. But back during our first deployment, I mean, I was like,
it's like we're sitting
why
by
are you
the
calling
phone.
me?
Yeah. And if you don't verbalize that, that's when it goes downhill really quickly, because if you're putting up that wall and you're stonewalling it, basically it makes you look one way. We're really you need something, but what the facade that you're showing is that you don't need anything. So I think that is super important to communicate verbally, openly.
And it's hard. It is very hard to know what you need to do before they leave, what you need to talk about, all the different topics, because so much is going to come up that you're not even expecting.
Yep.
And
yeah, I don't even try because I can't think that far. I can't. It's too much for me.
It's a lot.
I just like to take things as they come. Not a lot happens on my husband's side. Like some things happen. The majority of things happen when he's at home.
Oh, girl.
How did you do it that way?
Right? How did you get it like that? You need to share with the rest of us.
I mean, I don't know what it is really, but it's just the majority of things happen when he's here, like not when he's gone. So, and a lot of times I would be like, why isn't he calling me? But then it's really like, what we're going to talk about, like every single day. Because
right.
he's had, like I was in the Navy, you're living the same day every day.
Mhm.
It's not much going on besides work and watch and eating and sleeping and the gym. And it's just kind of like, then when they get to port, they want to decompress. So it's like, I don't know. I guess I see it from his point of view, but for me, the buildup is like happening inside myself. I feel like it's quite normal in the house until the day that he leaves, and then it's just kind of like the night before. It's this big like, oh, packing. You know what? Last minute things. Did you get this? Did you get that? Did you get your underwear? Did you get deodorant? Did you get all this little stuff? And it's just so much going on. I don't even think that he's leaving. But then when he leaves, I'm like, okay, bye. And then I go in the car, I have this really ugly cry. It's really ugly.
Yeah.
And it's really bad. It's like, and then I kind of go home and like, and move.
Keep on rolling.
Act like nothing happened. It's weird. you know. Unless my son's in the car, then I try to hold it in, but my son's like, it's okay. I know you upset. Just let it out, Mike. Go ahead. Do your ugly cry.
Yeah.
I think Gwen joined us. Gwen's like, I have something to say.
Yeah.
Baby, look.
For me,
These dogs let us know what they need.
it was always the day after. So like when we were in Japan and they would leave, it was always the day after that it hit for me. I think it was kind of because like he wasn't home, right? Like it was official that he wasn't home, and you knew that the ship was gone. Like I had to know the ship was gone because until the ship left the dock, he was still there, right?
Yeah, and the base is emptier and all that. Yeah.
I remember,
and people go watch that ship leave.
I had to watch
I'm like, no, I don't want to see it. I have no videos of no ships leaving.
I had to watch it.
I never watched the ship leave. I remember, and I think Nishita, yeah, you were there too. They were leaving, and then they didn't, like this went on.
Yeah. And that drags it out. That drags out the emotion.
Yeah. And my mother-in-law was there visiting, and she was an emotional roller coaster. And I'm like drinking my cherry Coke and eating my peanuts. And I'm just like,
you do that too?
Yep.
No, I enjoy my cherry Cokes and my shelled peanuts. Yes. Girl.
Yes, ma'am.
And she's
Look at that.
Good to have those little traditions.
Yep, those was my thing. And she's like, "You're not sad?" Like, no. She's like, "How do you do this?" I said, "Until the ship is gone, he's not gone." And I think maybe by the third time, she's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna keep doing this." And I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "You just say, all right, see you later." I think my Wi-Fi is acting crazy. Sorry. I was like,
that's what I learned. Like,
yeah.
Like the first deployment, we waited until we saw their buses like actually leave. And after that, I was like, I'm just gonna drop you off, and then I'm gonna go home, and then we'll have our day one. I don't care if you're still in the country for 24 more hours. Like, you've already left in my head. Like,
Yep.
What about when they get back? Like when my husband gets back, so we had this long-standing tradition because we were both in the Navy at the same time, and at any time one of our ships will be out, like he'd be out, or we both be out, or I'd be out and he'd be at home. So we had this thing where you come pick me up, we about to handle some business. I ain't standing at the pier, I'm pulling up to the curb. You coming out to the curb, we throwing the stuff in the car, we going to the house. We got some stuff to take care of. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
You got it, girl.
So
efficiency.
There you go.
Efficiency. And plus, before after you have kids, they're at school. most of the time. Like, I never took my kid out. I'm like, nah, he can see you when he gets home. I'm look, pull up to the curb, pick you up. And I think that's weird because one time it was an issue about it. Like, why weren't you out here watching the ship? I was like, I've seen a million ships come into the port. I don't need to see the ship come into the port.
I'll watch it come in. I don't like to watch it go out. I'll drop you off at the curb and you can
don't want to
leave.
be out there. You
Yeah.
get stuck. People want to talk to you. They want to say hi. Look, I've seen you the whole 6 months. I'm sorry. I saw you the whole 6 months. I'm gonna need to take my husband. I don't make signs because it would be a dirty sign. It'd probably be a dirty sign like
drop your anchor here.
That's a good one.
I'm just
Why did I never think of that?
I did have that sign.
That's awesome.
I sure did.
I'm just like, and we still do that to this day. But people are like, you didn't come watch the ship. You didn't. I was like, I didn't know. I mean, at first I was thinking, well, yeah, maybe I will come. But then the closer the time got, I was like, no, because they're gonna trap me there. He really takes a minute to get off the ship, and they're gonna want to talk, and they want to have cake, and they want to eat over here. No, and then I have to be rude and be like, no, I'm going home. And then they'll be like, she is such a B word. We didn't know she was like this. She's awful. And then I'm like, yeah, I tried to tell you.
Embrace it, girl. Embrace it.
Nobody's got time for cake.
Oh my
Put
God.
that cake away.
Oh well, look, y'all, look. We gonna go ahead and segue into this because I'm gonna go get.
You gonna go get your anchor dropped?
What would be the Army equivalent of that?
Your bag. Drop your bag here. Put your bags here. I don't know. We'll come up with something for you.
Something with boots or
I'm
a
a marketing
cannon.
director. We'll figure
You
something.
don't have any anchors.
You be anchors.
But you do. But Army has the sword, right? Is it your thing? The sword.
Hey, he can unpack his bag. Come on home and unpack that bag.
Sorry, Sybil. I don't know. I didn't hear you.
The sword.
Oh, I said that.
Drop your sword. Put your sword.
Oh.
Hey, how about we ask our listeners? Let's ask our listeners, to all you guys out there.
Unpack the bag.
Send Julie an idea for her welcome home sign. She's got an Army guy. So we've got drop your anchor here for Navy. We need something for Army. We need something really.
I feel like there's something, but I can't. Like my mind is just.
We could get one for each
come
branch.
unpack that backpack.
Marines.
Yes.
Air Force.
Yes, we need one for
Coast Guard.
Yeah, for each branch.
Space Force. The Space Force.
Space Force.
Space Force. Unpack your jetpack.
Ooh.
I like that one.
Then you gotta come launch that rocket.
Yes.
Land that rocket.
Come launch that rocket.
Launch that rocket. Love it.
You gotta land it.
I've got one. I'll have to send it to you later on the DL because I don't think Facebook will let me put this out there.
It will be censored. Is that what you're telling us, Becca?
That's going to be in the After Dark conversations.
Yeah. So tell us about the After Dark conversations.
So you guys, starting May 1st. March 1st. You typed May on that.
Bro, you know.
I know. Okay.
March 1st is around the corner.
March 1st. We are going to start After Dark conversations. It's Conversations After Dark. It's what's going to be called. And it's going to be conversations that are even more real and more raw than the ones that we're having now. It will not be streamed live. We will send you guys more information on it when we get everything put together. But basically, it will be behind a wall. You'll have to log into a specific Zoom link to be able to get in on these conversations with us because it is for real some stuff that we just can't say because we're very open individuals and we have to monitor ourselves sometimes, especially this mouth because this is a southern hot mess. So we're going to be doing these after dark conversations, and there's going to be some down and dirty stuff discussed. I have a couple of people already lined up to come on and do some talks with us. So I will tell you, I'll give you a sneak peek that one of our conversation guests will be talking about the world of BDSM. So these are definitely not conversations that you want to miss. And we'll be putting more information out there on those. But yep, watch out because they're going to start March 1st.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, they're going to start in March. We're going to release everything.
Yes,
March 1st.
in March.
Yeah. We also have a couple of other announcements.
Yes. April is month of the military child. So what we will be doing for the entire month of April is featuring some of our great MIL kids. Send us your kids' pictures, and it doesn't matter if they're 5 or if you are a mom of a service member and you want to send their pictures, it doesn't matter. Send us your military kids, and you can put their name on it. You can say a little blurb about it, whatever you want to do. Send it to us, and we are going to feature it on our page, the group, and the website. Correct, Sybil?
Correct.
Okay. So we're going to start rolling those out April 1st. Let's really celebrate our kids. So many times we forget the sacrifices that they make alongside of us. So let's get out there and thank them for everything that they do in the name of freedom. And just send them to us. You can send them to talk to us at milspouseconversations.com. It's also posted on the Facebook group.
Teens are included too, right?
Absolutely. 5 to 500. I don't care how old they are. Send them. I'm sending my 20-year-old in. Shh, he doesn't know. But I'm sending it anyway because I gave.
Wait a minute. You said 5. From a.
Oh, I'm sorry. 0.
Yes, from
It's not a Lego set.
0 to 500. If you have a baby bump and it's a military baby, send us a picture of your baby bump. But yes, send those to talk to us at milspouseconversations.com. And another thing, Sybil, that we have started doing is for the month of February, we were doing love stories. We were only going to run it because of Valentine's Day, but we've decided we're going to do that year round. So send us your military love stories. How did you meet your service member? Service members, how did you meet your spouse? Send it to us with pictures of you guys, and we will post it on the website and the Facebook group and the page. Yep. We'll send them out there. And like I said, we're taking them year round. Same email address, talk to us at milspouseconversations.com.
Yep.
I think that's all our announcements. Oh, one more thing. I'm super excited about this one. Showcase Saturdays will be starting in March. Showcase Saturdays are going to be 15-minute segments that Milspouse entrepreneurs can sign up for. We'll send you the information. If you send us an email, we'll send you all the information you need. But basically, it's a 15-minute infomercial. You get on there, you sell your business, you talk about yourself, what you do, your services you provide, whatever it is. You got a 15-minute spot to sell whatever it is. I don't care if it's Adam and Eve stuff. If that's what your business is, we're supporting our military spouse entrepreneurs. We will be posting that. We'll be posting your live segment. We will not be doing a live segment like what we have now, but we will be posting it on the website. It's going to be on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that we will be posting in.
We may have to extend that a little bit.
We may have to swing that. Okay. We may change the times, but we'll let you guys know when it is before we start posting them. But you'll have 15 minutes, 15-minute segment. You can take 2 minutes or up to 15 minutes to say whatever you need to do, showcase your stuff, get on there and show us how to do a facial with your products, whatever it may be. Hit us up for that. Showcase Saturdays are going to be a really great thing. We really want to highlight our Milspouse entrepreneurs and help support you guys, especially in the time of COVID because it's crazy right now. And has been for a year, and we don't see an end in sight. So definitely keep your eyes open for more information on Showcase Saturdays. And as always, if you have any questions, suggestions for topics that you want to talk about, anything like that, email us, whatever it is you want to tell us at talktous@milspouseconversations.com. Sybil, back to you.
I think you said everything, girlfriend. You did. I think you did. I think you did.
Awesome.
Make sure that you go over to milspouseconversations.com and click on the About Us. You will see all of the conversation starters bios. Go check out those bios, click on their links, because every one of the conversation starters, they have their own thing as well. They come over here and they join me here and chat with us, but they have some amazing talent of their own, and they have their own platform. So make sure that you go over there and check their work out on their own, on their individual platforms, and support them there, because without the conversation starters, there would not be a Milspouse Conversations. Okay, so go check them out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We're here every first and third Thursday of the month, streaming live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your friends, share this video, and tell your friends about the page and the group, and come on over and get in on the conversation.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.